From the Alex Trebek stage at Sony Picture Studios, this is Inside Jeopardy!
Hello and welcome back to Inside Jeopardy, your exclusive and official podcast destination for all things happening in the world of Jeopardy! I'm producer Sarah Foss, and I'm joined once again. He's back. Buttrey is back. Welcome, Sam.
It's great to be back from the Inside Jeopardy remote studio located in Mount Wengen, Australia, where an underground coal fire has been burning for about 6,000 years.
Wow. Did you work on that for a couple weeks, Sam?
I did. Yeah, that's all I've been thinking about.
Well, I like it. We miss you here in the studio, but happy to have you remotely. I do apologize if there's any yawns in this podcast because I'm coming off back-to-back red eyes and you're getting me at... I don't even know what you're getting me at, what percentage this is, but it's going to be wild.
Because normally you give 110%, so this is probably about 100, somewhere in there.
There you go. I think it's right about there. Hard to imagine this is our last podcast of 2024.
Very sad. We're near the end of the year. What's going to happen in January, Sarah?
Well, we're building up to Second Chance. That will debut that last week in December / first week of January. We're going to talk about those games when we come back here on January 6th. But I think we all deserve a little break. I think our podcast listeners, they love to hear us gab, but I think they won't mind that we go away for a couple weeks as well.
A little break for them, a little break for us, a little break for our intrepid podcast producers, Alexa and Carlos.
Yes. And you missed it last week. Michael did announce that we had done 315 episodes this calendar year. And that's not counting the Celebrity Jeopardy episodes, which are actually an hour. So if you multiply those, it's a lot. So it's a record-breaking amount of Jeopardy. And I'm just excited we've reached the end of the year.
Excited in a good way. You could stand to do even more Jeopardy if the calendar permitted it.
Yes. I mean, just like you, I will never get enough Jeopardy.
That is the truth. And speaking of which, I've now been able to watch 5 of the 6 Pop Culture Jeopardy episodes.
All right. What's your thought? I've been excited for you to be able to see these and watch them. What's the takeaway?
I think it works great. I will say I saw something I never expected to see, which is on Prime Video ahead of, I think, the second episode. There was that warning about language. And, of course, regular Jeopardy is so aggressively G-rated. And I wasn't sure if Pop Culture would lighten up on that a bit. But there were some, let us say, slightly more adult-themed answers and dialogue. I don't think it got in the way of the show, which I thought nicely balanced the Jeopardy we've come to expect with the challenges of having 9 players instead of 3 and the triple play. I thought it worked pretty well.
Well, I'm glad for a good review. We've had really great reviews from our viewers as well, and we're in the top 10 once again on Amazon top shows that people are watching on Prime Video, so that's always a good sign. And, we've got so much more to come because we're only dropping 3 episodes each week for 13 weeks. And then, of course, we'll have the big finale as the 40th episode. So lots more PCJ to come. Let's get into the highlights about Pop Culture Jeopardy. What do you say, Sam?
Yes, indeed. The most recent 3 episodes saw the South Shore Squad, the Stage Names, and Beauty and the Beasts advance to the quarterfinals.
In Knockout Game 4, we saw a great category, Big Charles Dickens Energy. Written by our own Marcus Brown. Didn't exactly know what to expect, but that was a fun one. We also saw another great category on SNL's Celebrity Jeopardy, and that one was written by Mark Gaberman. So it's really fun to see our syndicated writers just getting to have a little bit looser play, if you will, on some of the clues and categories.
I love SNL, and I love Jeopardy. I love to see one reference the other, and I thought it went very well in that category.
In Knockout Game 5, we saw Colin have to kind of do his first Scarlett Johansson moment with a category, a marvelous category. The clue, to soothe the savage beast that is the Hulk, Black Widow says these 4 words of lullaby to him in Avengers Age of Ultron. The correct response, what is sun's getting real low? Colin joked, that is correct, and that is the only way I can go to sleep. As if Scarlett just says that lullaby to him. You never know.
I'm guessing that's not the last Scarlett Johansson reference we'll get during Pop Culture Jeopardy.
You're going to find that she comes up a lot because she's in a lot of movies. The Stage Names in their interview talked about a saucy but very modern love triangle, and this gave Colin the opportunity to joke, this is the intrigue we were waiting for on Pop Culture Jeopardy. They then explained that the reason behind their team is because none of them go by their government names. So Colin joked, wow, you are the front runner for coolest stories and definitely by far the most complicated.
So the funny thing was with the stage names, they pointed out that 2 of them had dated and then a different 2 were dating. And Colin went over to the sidekicks and joked, so which of you are dating and who used to date the other one? And sure enough, Julian and Riggs responded, we actually are dating. So there's a lot going on in Pop Culture Jeopardy, Sarah.
Yeah. And then during a stop down, that team, the sidekicks, they were trying to teach Colin that viral Apple dance from Charlie XCX. I don't know if you know it. Do you know? You probably know it better than me, Sam.
I know Charlie XCX because she appeared, of course, on Saturday Night Live, although I admit I have not mastered the dance yet.
All right. Well, that's a challenge during this holiday break. I'd love to come back and see Sam do the Apple dance. That's my holiday goal.
Ask and you shall receive. I do whatever Sarah tells me. She's the producer of Jeopardy.
I love that. Well, you can now see all 81 teams who will appear throughout our Pop Culture Jeopardy run on our website, popculturejeopardy.com. But we will continue to reveal each of the teams that will be featured each week here on the podcast. So tell us about Knockout Game 7, Sam.
Knockout Game 7, soon to be available this Wednesday when they drop on Prime Video, includes the Space Cowboys. That's Sagar Patel, Seema Anand, and Surong Patel. It also includes Lower Shoulder with Renee Hendry, Whitney Seibold, and Angie Seibold, and On the Bubble with Jacoby Bancroft, Paul Oyama, and Nick Harley.
All right, Knockout Game 8, Mojo Casa Housemates, one of my favorite team names, Anna Klassen, Anthony Macchio, Amy Huckabee, Set and a Run, Sarah McBreen, Devin McBreen, Mary Bennett, and Mission Impopsicle, Stan Park, Abigail Noy, and Simon McAndrews. Sam, that one's cracking you up.
Mission Impopsicle. Might be a contender for the best names, although they would have to take on the players in Knockout Game 9, the Tampa Tamales, who are Mike Halterman, Ava Davis, and Jonathan Thornton. Glazed and Confused, that's Andrea Zavalos, Alex Switsky, and Laryl Garcia. And Brenneth, that's Brian Debbie, Jennifer Ramo, and Judy Zupko.
There you go. Well, now it's time to get into the highlights from last week's syndicated show. We head into Monday, where Dave Bond returned to go for his third win up against Bill and Lisa. It was Bill, though, who got out to an early lead and with the help of a $5,000 daily double, secured a narrow runaway win.
In that game, Bill ran the alliterative movie titles category, including the $5,000 Gone Girl daily double. The clue said, David Fincher directed this 2014 thriller that finds Ben Affleck framed for murder. Gone Girl it was.
And now a quick word from our sponsor. When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof like Heinz and Mattel, sure, you think about a great product, but an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business making selling simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's no secret. Businesses that want to grow, grow with Shopify. So upgrade your business and get the same checkout Heinz and Mattel use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Jeopardy, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Jeopardy to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Jeopardy. And now, back to Inside Jeopardy. Well, moving on to Tuesday's game with Bill, Sarah, and Dan. This was a close one. Dan split the daily doubles in Double Jeopardy and ended the round in third place, while Bill had a strong finish to the round to protect his lead. Sarah ended in second, and after a triple stumper final, Bill was able to secure a second win.
So a little bit, if I can call it, controversy about Dan's wager. Bill needed to protect against Sarah. Sarah needed to protect against Dan. And certainly one of Dan's options might have been to bet zero. And had he done that, he would have won from third place. But I just can't blame a guy for betting it all, betting on himself, which is what Dan did, bet almost all. And Bill came to his defense on Reddit as well.
He did. Yeah, it's one of those things, you know. Bill said, I'm sure people bring it up all the time, but I can't overstate how hard it is to think straight when you are up there. I loved the chance to see Lisa Ed Walter in this show. She gave a clue that I was surprised to learn. I don't know if you knew this, but her clue stated in the category Life Imitates Pop Culture, talk about life imitating art after nannying identical twins played by Lindsay Lohan in this 1998 film. I had real-life identical twins, and they even share the character's birthday. What? So cool.
That's perfect. I hadn't known that, but it's great to see Lisa Ann Walter continue her great Jeopardy appearances. I look forward to seeing her sometime soon.
Yes, one can hope. Correct response was, what is the Parent Trap, if you didn't know that one. On Wednesday, Bill was back to face Molly and Sam with 21 correct responses and 2 correct daily doubles. He cruised right into a runaway win.
Yes, and we learned one of his secrets is that Bill's kids help him prepare. His 7-year-old daughter loves to say, "This is Jeopardy!" along with Johnny Gilbert, and she'll make him rewind if she misses it. So anyway,
So does my 7-year-old.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I also say that along with Johnny Gilbert.
I mean, she loves anything Johnny says. She's a big Johnny G fan, as we all are.
As we all are. Well, heading into Thursday's game with Bill, Ashley, and Alex, we have Ashley, who took a small lead over Bill heading into Double Jeopardy, but there she slowly built on her lead, and with the help of a late $2,000 daily double, she secured a runaway win.
Yes, let's hear how she was feeling after that big win.
I was looking at your stats. You and Bill both were attempting about the same number of clues. You both had 31 attempts on the buzzer, but especially in Double Jeopardy, you were getting in almost at will.
I think I hit my stride, and I had figured out the magic of the buzzer and was ready to go.
If you figured it out, can you tell me what's the secret?
I think you of all people should know the secret.
It comes and goes. The buzzer's very mysterious and streaky to me, even today. But you got your hot streak at the right time.
Yes.
How does it feel to be a Jeopardy champion, Ashley?
Gosh, this is a lifelong dream come true.
You seem genuinely happy. Some people are just too shell-shocked to even register happiness.
Oh no, I am a very expressive person. You're going to see it all in my face. I'm so excited.
That's great. That's great. Well, we'll see how long you're here with us. You're definitely coming back tomorrow. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
And Ashley was, in fact, back on Friday going up against Rom and Carla. She took the lead into Double Jeopardy. Rom was closing the gap, but then Ashley scored $2,500 on the last daily double to extend her lead into final. Both players earning over $10,000. We'd love to see that, but Carla was the only person who was correct in final. Thanks to an unconventional minimal wager by Ashley, though, Ashley gets the win.
Right. I thought both Ashley and Carla's bets were a little weird. Ashley, the usual prescription would be to bet so much that she beats Rom if she gets it right, no matter what he bets. That's a lot. So a second thing she might do is to bet hardly anything so that she couldn't be caught by Carla. In fact, she bet a little bit more than that. And if Carla had bet it all, she would have been the winner since she was the only one to get Final Jeopardy right. But you never know. It's a complicated 3-way game. So she deserved the win.
Yeah, well, Ken caught up with all 3 players after to talk about that Final Jeopardy wagering.
Why the small wager in final? We had a situation where you and Ron both could have been right.
Yes,
and
I
you would have
thought,
lost.
well, if he doesn't wager everything, maybe if he stays where he is and I get it wrong, I have enough where I can still win.
You were thinking he might do the small wager.
Yes.
I was just like, go big or go home.
Yeah.
It's always a game theory thing. You're like, well, if they do the smart thing, maybe I can do the super smart thing. But if they know, they'll do the super smart thing. Great game from both of you. Rom, you really put the champ to the test. Nice job knowing Douglas Adams. Carla, you all played well. But Ashley, you're coming back for game 3. How does that feel?
I cannot believe it.
You've already won, let me see, almost $30,000. Is that a big deal? Will that fly you to a lot of weddings?
Yes. Yes, it will. We have one in Ireland next year, so a chunk of this is going to probably go towards paying for that.
Just don't go to any weddings in Belgium. I think that'll be very hurtful to Rom, who came very close in this game. Great game, and congratulations.
Thank
well
you.
done, Ashley.
Yes, I remember in her interview she talked about attending 23 weddings with more to come. So I guess, you're going to need a big budget for that. She needs to keep winning.
I don't even have 25 friends, so I'm not sure how many weddings I've been to in my lifetime, but good for her.
Well, I know that is not true, Sam. I also know it is time for my favorite part of the podcast. But wait, there's more. What do you have for us, Sam?
This week's clue comes from that Columbia 100th anniversary category. It's the $2,000 clue. Bring it.
Columbia 2000.
With 12, Columbia is the studio that has won the most Academy Awards for Best Picture. One went to this 1957 classic that was nominated for 8 Oscars in all and won 7.
Alex?
What is the bridge on the River Kwai?
You got it.
And that was our chairman and CEO, Tom Rothman, delivering that whole category, including this clue you're going to tell us about.
Thank you, Tom. So the production of the movie The Bridge on the River Kwai has an interesting story even before you get to the real-life events that sort of inspired it. It started as a book written by French author Pierre Boulle, who's also famous for writing The Planet of the Apes. Both those books were written in French. Boulle didn't really speak English, certainly couldn't write in it. So when it was decided to make Boulle's novel into a film, they needed screenwriters. And they got Carl Foreman, whose work included High Noon, and Michael Wilson, whose credits included, years later, the Planet of the Apes screenplay. The thing is that both of those guys were on the Hollywood blacklist, so they worked in secret over in Europe. And when the film won the Best Adapted Screenplay Oscar in the 1958 ceremony, they gave the award to Pierre Boulle.
Free Oscar for him.
Free Oscar, except maybe he didn't know because he didn't speak English much. Anyway, Pierre Boulle was an interesting guy who had his own wartime adventures. He fought with the Free French in Indochina. He learned how to blow up bridges, which is not a skill that I have. He was a prisoner of war in Hanoi who escaped near the end of the war. His novel, while it is fictional, referred to the building of the Burma-Thailand Railroad, which is also called, kind of ominously, the Death Railway.
Can't be good, Sam.
No, that's not a good name for a railway. Nobody wants to ride that. They're not going to put a ride at Disneyland anytime soon called the Death Railway. But anyway, Imperial Japan wanted to build this connection because their sea routes to their Burma campaign had been cut off. So as in the movie, they used enslaved prisoners of war, but they also used hundreds of thousands of locals to work on this railroad at a final cost of about 100,000 deaths. But to end on a happier note, I will say this. The Academy ended up giving Foreman and Wilson the screenplay Oscar. Now, they were both dead by the time that happened, but at least it wasn't from the Death Railway.
Wow. Okay. Yes. And I'm sure their family, I'm just moving past the Death Railway joke, and I'm just going to say I'm sure that their family is so happy to have that Oscar as, an acclaimed accreditation of all that their relative had done, if not recognized.
And Boulle didn't have to give his back, so that's cool too.
Okay, Boulle family also very proud and happy too. Everybody's happy and dead. Now it's time to move into our host chat. An audience member asked Ken this week, do you feel bad as we do as viewers when a player doesn't make it to Final Jeopardy?
Yes, worse, actually. Because I'm there, and I'm kind of the face of it. I have to give you the bad news. And I'm always, nothing makes me happier than somebody just pulling that out at the last second and getting out of the red to get to final. To me, that's as exciting as any, narrow victory.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that feeling.
It's very rough when that person has to actually leave the stage for Final Jeopardy.
Yes, and we're there, in those final clues, just, okay, if they get now they have to get 2. Okay, now they have to, and it's just this game because you always want everyone to play for final. It's what we always hear people say time and time again. It's not even, I want to be a Jeopardy champion. It's, I want to make it to final.
Just want to make it to final. I totally get that.
Yeah, that is the bar. Well, we have come to the end of this week's episode and the end of a year on Inside Jeopardy, certainly made brighter by you joining our team. As we mentioned, we won't be here for the next couple of weeks, but we'll be back on January 6th to ring in the new year, to talk about week 1 of Second Chance, and we will have an exclusive interview with the champion. You won't want to miss it. Happy holidays, Sam. Happy holidays to everyone.
Happy holidays to everyone. Happy New Year.
We're so glad you're here. Stick around and click that subscribe button so you see all our latest videos.